Have you ever wondered if anyone has ever sailed the entire coastline of Africa? A journey of 30,000 kilometers with shifting tides, burning deserts and storms that have erased names from history. Very few ever have, and even fewer have lived to tell the story. So my question to you is, would you dare to be among the few to try? To face the same oceans that have swallowed explorers, the same winds that whisper legends into the dunes? Would you make it back alive? Remember, this isn't a regular voyage. It's a confrontation with the edge of the world itself. Setting sail through some of the most shocking and dangerous places on Earth isn't just a voyage around a continent, it's a descent into the raw power of the planet itself, a point where ocean, desert, and time collide. I'm Alex Turner. Let's begin from the mouth of the Congo to the winds of the Sahara, where every wave hides a secret. Every coastline, a story written in wreckage. Continue your voyage with us with a quick subscribe. 1. The Gulf of Guinea, the world's piracy hotspot. Not all of Africa's dangers are born from nature. Some come with engines and guns. This is the Gulf of Guinea, a vast crescent of ocean stretching from Gabon to Ghana, where trade routes pulse with the lifeblood of modern commerce like oil, gas, and gold. But beneath this map of progress lies one of the most dangerous frontiers on Earth. Here, modern piracy has found a home. Hijackings happen in silence, crew members vanish without a trace, and ransoms are demanded in millions while perpetrators vanish into the shadows of coastal cities. In 2020 alone, more than half of the world's sea kidnappings happened right here. The statistics are staggering. Over 130 seafarers kidnapped in these waters in a single year. Maritime security experts call it the most dangerous body of water for merchant vessels anywhere on the planet. The pirates here operate with military precision. They use fast attack boats, sophisticated weapons, and inside knowledge of shipping schedules. They strike dozens of miles offshore, beyond the reach of coastal patrols. They take hostages not for political reasons, but purely for profit. And the ransoms they demand can reach into the millions of dollars. Once, explorers feared storms. Now, captains fear the sound of approaching engines in the night. Ship crews sail with darkened vessels, locked safe rooms, and emergency protocols. Some vessels hire armed security. Others simply pray and hope their route goes unnoticed. Yet even here, beneath the danger, the ocean remains hauntingly beautiful. The horizon glows golden at dawn and dusk, as if the sea itself remembers a time before greed. Dolphins still leap through these waters. Sea turtles nest on pristine beaches, and fishermen in wooden canoes still cast their nets as their ancestors did centuries ago, caught between tradition and a world that has grown far more dangerous. 2. The Congo River mouth, Africa's underwater whirlpool. This river carries the weight of an entire continent with mountain range, jungle secrets, and the lifeblood of millions. But what happens when that force meets the Atlantic is something few could imagine. The Congo River performs an impossible act. When it empties the heart of Africa into the sea, its waters don't stop at the shore. They plunge downward, carving a canyon deep beneath the Atlantic. An underwater trench, 800 meters deep, winding for hundreds of kilometers through the ocean floor, battling for dominance. Scientists call it one of the only known underwater rivers on Earth, carrying a torrent of fresh water with silt, nutrients, and mystery into the deep. This submarine canyon is one of the most spectacular geological features on the planet, rivaling even the Grand Canyon in scale. At this point, the currents twist with such force they can drag ships off course, like they possess a hidden gravity beneath the waves. Ships that stray too close to this unseen trench can feel their hulls twist under shifting pressure. Compasses spin, Navigation systems struggle. Even experienced captains report a feeling of disorientation, as if the water itself is pulling them in multiple directions at once. The Congo discharges more water than any river except the Amazon, roughly 1.4 million cubic feet per second. That's enough to fill an Olympic swimming pool every 3 seconds. This massive outflow creates a visible plume of brown, sediment-laden water that extends hundreds of miles into the Atlantic, visible even from space. Local fishermen have long known about the strange waters here. They speak of places where the sea seems to boil without reason, where fish congregate in massive schools, drawn by the nutrients from deep within the continent. They've learned to read the currents to know when to approach and when to stay away. 3. The Skeleton Coast. Namibia's deadly shoreline. They call it the Skeleton Coast, a place where ships come to die and stay. Fog rolls endlessly here, born from the cold Benguela current meeting the desert's burning air. It's a curtain of white that hides the shore until it's too late. For centuries, sailors feared this coastline more than the storms themselves. Wrecked vessels lie scattered like bones across the sand, their wooden frames picked clean by time and salt. Some wrecks are centuries old, their origins lost to history. Others are more recent, rusted hulks of steel ships that miscalculated the coast by mere meters. One moment they were navigating by instruments, the next they were grinding against rocks they never saw coming. The Himba people once called this place the land God made in anger. And when you stand here, you understand why. The desert begins where the waves end, with no transition, no gentle slope. Just endless dunes meeting endless ocean, both hostile to human life. But anger isn't the only thing that lives here. There's a strange, haunting peace where silence feels alive, and the horizon stretches like eternity. Desert elephants roam these shores, one of only 2 desert-adapted elephant populations on Earth. Lions hunt seals along the beach. Jackals and hyenas patrol the tide line, scavenging what the ocean provides. Even for those who survive a shipwreck here, the nightmare is just beginning. The shore offers no water, no shelter, no escape. The desert extends inland for hundreds of kilometers. Many sailors who made it to land alive died within days, their bodies eventually joining the skeletons that gave this coast its name. Here, the desert meets the ocean, and neither forgives. 4. The Benguela Current, the cold killer of the Atlantic. The Skeleton Coast owes its ghostly beauty to an invisible architect, the Benguela Current. Born in the icy waters of the South Atlantic, this current flows northward along Africa's west coast, pulling cold water up from the ocean's depths in a process scientists call upwelling. It brings life, rich nutrients, teeming fish, and the marine abundance that feeds an entire nation. The upwelling creates one of the richest fishing grounds on Earth. Sardines, anchovies, and other fish gather here in staggering numbers. Seabirds flock in millions. Whales migrate thousands of miles to feed in these waters. But it also brings death. When warm air meets these cold waters, fog forms thick as stone, so dense that even the sun disappears. This isn't ordinary fog. It can last for days, even weeks. Visibility drops to mere meters. Sound becomes distorted. The world shrinks to a grey void where direction loses meaning. Fishermen vanish without warning, their small boats swallowed by the mist. Ships drift blind into the coast, their radar unable to distinguish fog from land until it's too late. Even modern GPS can't save you if you can't see the rocks until your hull is already splitting open. It's not the waves that kill here. It's the silence beneath them. The fog muffles everything. You can be mere meters from shore and not know it. You can be drifting toward other vessels and never hear their engines. The Benguela creates a world where you're sailing blind through one of the ocean's most dangerous coastlines. 5. The Cape of Storms, where oceans collide. At the southernmost edge of Africa lies a place where two titans meet, the Atlantic and the Indian Oceans. Here, the seas do not blend, they battle. Cold currents from the west collide with warm waters from the east, creating chaos where calm should be. You'll see swells rising higher than houses. Winds shift direction without warning. Even the air tastes electric, charged with the violence of colliding weather systems. Early Portuguese explorers named it Cabo das Tormentas, the Cape of Storms. Later, it was optimistically renamed the Cape of Good Hope, but the original name was more honest. Some say it was the very edge of the known world, where the sea itself tried to turn them back. The waters here are a graveyard. More than 3,000 ships have sunk in these waters over the centuries. Some were torn apart by storms, others were dashed against rocks. Many simply disappeared, their fate unknown, their crews never heard from again. Modern ships equipped with satellite navigation, weather forecasting, and steel hulls still approach with caution. The Cape doesn't care about technology. When the storms come, when the seas rise, even container ships the size of city blocks can be tossed like toys. Some never returned, and their bones rest beneath these waters, their names erased by the same winds that carried them here. Here, two oceans fight for dominance, and ships pay the price. 6. The Agulhas Current, the furious stream. From the chaos of the Cape, a river of water races eastward, one of the fastest and most powerful on Earth, the Agulhas Current. Moving at more than 5 miles per hour, it carries billions of tons of water with a force greater than every river on the continent combined. To put this in perspective, the Agulhas moves more water in a single day than all of Africa's rivers combined discharge in a year. This current doesn't flow peacefully. It twists, it folds, and it creates giants. Waves as high as 30 meters have been recorded here. Rogue waves born from colliding currents and compressed energy. These aren't theoretical phenomena. Ships have been struck by them, massive vessels crippled or sunk by a single wave that appeared from nowhere. To sailors, they seem alive, as if the sea itself is hunting them. Survivors describe walls of water rising from a relatively calm sea, towering above the ship, then crashing down with the weight of a collapsing building. There's no time to react, no way to turn, no escape. The Agulhas doesn't forgive mistakes. It swallows them. Even experienced mariners give this current the respect it demands, routing around it when possible, timing their passages carefully and always watching the sea. 7. Somali pirate waters, the lawless blue desert. You know the saying, all that glitters is not gold. It's a perfect definition of Somali waters. The beauty can be deceptive, and not all dangers here come from the sea itself. We've now successfully entered the waters off Somalia, a stretch once called the world's most dangerous sea. Years of drought, war, and foreign exploitation stripped the coast bare. Fishermen who once lived from the ocean turned to it for survival in a different way. Modern piracy was born here, not from greed, but from desperation. Hijackings turned to ransom turned to war. For a time, even the mightiest ships avoided these waters. At the height of the crisis, over 50 ships were hijacked in a single year. Hundreds of crew members were held hostage, some for years. The international community responded with naval patrols, armed guards on merchant vessels, and prosecutions. Slowly the crisis eased. Now the horizon looks calm again. But ask any captain who's sailed this stretch. and they'll tell you that fear still lingers here. As you navigate through this sea, always remember that beneath these calm turquoise waters lies fear, the kind that sails with you or after you at night. 8. The Red Sea, Rift and Suez Canal, Earth's opening wound. Africa is changing, and it's happening before our eyes. Beneath the Red Sea runs a massive rift, a tear in the Earth's crust, where the African and Arabian plates are slowly pulling apart. Each year, the continent splits a little farther, just millimeters, but enough to reshape the map of the world over geological time. From this fracture rises fire, earthquakes rumble through the Rift Valley, new volcanoes form in silence, and over millions of years, a new ocean will one day flood through here, dividing Africa into two. Scientists can measure this separation with GPS. They can see the land pulling apart in real time. In East Africa, the rift is even more dramatic. Cracks have appeared in the ground, some wide enough to swallow buildings. It's a reminder that the earth beneath our feet is never truly still. Even humanity has carved its own wound here with the Suez Canal, a channel connecting seas, a mirror of the planet's own slow division. What is this telling us? Africa is tearing itself in two, and we can see it happen in real time. 9. The Sahara's coast, sandstorms that swallow cities. At the edge of North Africa, the sea meets the desert, and neither stays where it belongs. Every winter, the Harmattan winds rise from the Sahara, carrying billions of tons of dust across the Atlantic. They darken skies in West Africa, paint sunsets over the Caribbean, and feed the soils of the Amazon with minerals born from ancient dunes. But beauty has a price. These storms can swallow entire cities, strip paint from ships, and turn noon to dusk in minutes. Visibility drops to zero. Breathing becomes difficult. The dust penetrates everything: engines, electronics, lungs. The Sahara doesn't end at the shore. It keeps moving across the ocean, a reminder that the boundaries we draw on maps mean nothing to the planet itself. To journey around Africa is to witness a world still untamed, a continent where nature rules without mercy, and beauty is born from danger. From the hidden river beneath the sea to the desert that drifts across the sky, Africa reminds us of something we often forget, that the planet is alive, and we are only guests upon it. Subscribe if this voyage left you in awe. Give this video a simple like, share it with a fellow explorers, and join us on more cinematic journeys across our planet.